Hello YouTube, welcome back to a new episode of Grand Tactician. Where we left off, the Department of the Ohio was majorly defeated by numerous Confederate forces in the vicinity of what is to be Western Virginia. Now here I have the battle report in detail. The enemy has reportedly suffered total casualties of 21,416 men, thereof 3,175 killed, none captured, the rest wounded and missing. On our side, we have 9,424 casualties, with 1,217 killed, 1,489 missing, and the rest wounded. Morale is nervous, with supply situation critical. So now we shall see the retreat mechanic in action, see what they have improved, what they have yet to improve. And with that, I believe comes the end of any campaigning until maybe either late 61 or into early of 1862. We still, however, have a force in Tennessee trying to pursue the Missouri State Guard. But with this defeat in the Eastern Theater, we may have to pull them out and give everyone time to rest, resupply, and eventually train these armies so that they are better in combat, they have better experience, better melee, etc., etc. And hopefully this food issue can be resolved. So without delay, let us click play and see what happens. Now, these forces, I'm sure it'll update once I click play because they're all right here. It does say, however, that they do have a window to escape back into Ohio, which was, I think I discussed the plan anyway, that could have been the possibility even before this battle began. But let me quit stalling and let's continue. A disaster for Union. The Confederates stand firm. A skedaddle. Lincoln calls an emergency meeting. Northerners losing heart. The first major field battle has been fought between the inexperienced armies of the Union and the Confederacy. In this battle, the Confederate troops have prevailed, and they now hold the field, having sent the Yankees running for their lives. The news is welcomed with enthusiasm in the Confederacy. President Davis calls it a great achievement on the road to the inevitable victory and offers his thanks to all the men who fought in the battle. Confederate support is reportedly strong, and the citizens believe the Northern armies can be beaten and independence gained. In the North, the population is in shock after the Union troops lost heart, turned and ran. Lincoln is quoted as saying, "It's bad. It's damn bad." Already many are questioning his leadership and are coming out in favor of a political compromise. Dun 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 dun. And London cheers Confederate victory. The British ready to assist. Invasion force being formed. The Confederates welcome European support. Union fears invasion. Oh boy. So now, let's take a look here. Our national morale dropped significantly. Our support is relatively okay, and the morale of our armies is alright, for the most part. We're getting close to matching their fielding, and despite having won 18 battles, they have won 4 now. And our casualties, 32,000 to 67,000. Not sure how accurate it is. It could be estimate, but trade warfare is relatively high on both sides, and the weapons industry is evenly matched, and right here, for all of it's evenly matched. So let's see, what do we have to do in our objectives here? Of course, we have to break their morale, we have to capture the capital, we've already checked these off, maintain support above 60, because, yeah, if we lose support, then Lincoln may not win the next election in November of 1862, and that will lead to the new president seeking peace terms with the Confederacy, and then we will lose the war. So we cannot go below 60. We still have to capture 10 forts. Not sure how we'll do that, but we'll figure it out. And we are so close to controlling West Virginia. I'm not sure if McClellan retreating through Charleston is going to unlock that, but let's find out. And of course, the rear guard and the pursuit of the army splitting is going to lead to even more casualties sustained. Yeah, so 14,000 disabled. Oh boy. And Joshua K. Siegfried has taken command of the Department of the Ohio. Not sure what that will do. They are very unhappy. Of course they're unhappy. But somehow from the last save into this new save, the armies have already split apart from where this battle took place right here. I'm surprised that they moved that far. But as they retreat, I'm going to pull out the Department of the West and have them just, let's see. I don't want to send them all the way back to St. Louis. We'll move them up to, what town is this? Hopkinsville of Kentucky. Ooh, what's this mean? In range. Is within command range of the army commander and will reinforce any battles within that range. Oh, of course. I have my naval fleets on blockade, and that's leading to a lot of ships trying to slip past and intervene. So that's keeping the Confederate Navy at bay. How are the troops here? Finally, the food symbol has disappeared. That's great. So they're encamped and their training is regular, so they're pretty set to go. How are these guys? Still poor. I'm going to move them to Frederick, Maryland. Wow, Maryland. I can't speak tonight. So now my task, or not my task, but my plan is to, now it's the Confederacy's turn. If they want to launch an attack, then they can do so. I'm going to hold off on being on the offensive. I think that defeat has really struck a chord with everybody, and I need to make sure my troops are resupplied and ready to go. 14,000 disabled. How about that? My goodness. Where did they retreat to anyway? The town of Athens. Hell, I may even just put them up at Columbus so that there's more supplies in the vicinity. Well, that's a plus. Since I lost that battle, in the earlier patches when an army was retreating, they could still take towns as they fled. And they would also flee into the enemy territory even more. So that in that instance, since I lost the earlier versions of the game, my army would have retreated inland rather than out of enemy territory. So that's a plus. They're going back. And these symbols, this is a supply depot that I'm building near Washington. But you'll see them all across the map. Like these are different, like factories, foundries, etc., farms, all that stuff. And you'll usually see that in the monthly report. All of my victories so far have been because of the naval battles. They're automatically fought, so there's not much, and it's just repetitive nonsense like this. So I may actually pull out, so that way I don't want to cheat the system and say, oh, look at how many victories I have, when they're all just nonsense naval skirmishes, you know? So I'm gonna pull them out. I don't need them. I'm not even sure. I don't even think I'm blockading correctly anyway. No, I'm not. So it's a waste of my time. Coming over to the policy screen, we can see that I have unlocked Military 2, which in turn gives me access to research the colored troops, emancipation, which I'm going to try and aim for the historical date, which was January 1st of 1863. And I can have the first level of bounties paying soldiers to fight, and an enrollment act, which is the draft. But like I said earlier, I will not do that unless absolutely necessary. I will research legal blockade though. Maybe that's why my ships aren't actually doing anything with the blockade option. I don't want to do tariff act because that will anger Europe. that will upset the Europeans, and that won't help me gain anything beneficial from them. Eventually, I'll probably do print notes too, so I can have more loans and credit. I can also do confiscation, which is any property that is in the South that is captured by the Union. Therefore, it becomes legally taken for the Union. Captured slaves will also be considered contraband and no longer required to be returned to their owners. This will make the supply of Union armies in enemy territory easier. It will also increase opposition from Southern population. So that's also an option, but right now I'm just going to focus on the legal blockade, and we're just going to keep seeing if the enemy decides to make any movements or launch any campaigns. Here's our monthly report. Our credit is mediocre. We have founded 37 companies, here of 6 farms, 2 foundries, 7 ironworks, 19 factories, 2 mills, 1 saltworks. We are lacking iron, livestock, wood, and no overproduction of products. Looking through the list of officers, because I was just looking at McClellan and Sumner who were wounded, I have also found out that Adolf von Steinwehr was killed in action, and Joseph B. Carr was also killed in action, and I did not realize that. Not sure if that was from the previous battle, but if you unclick them, oh, the black. Okay, so these black frames, I believe, show that they were, maybe not, maybe it's just the look, but they were killed. I'm not sure if anyone else down here has been killed. No, only 2 commanders were killed in this war so far. Man, what a shame. But now Joshua K. Siegfried is in command of the Department of the Ohio. We will see how he becomes. Hopefully he will be successful in future endeavors. We will not know. But this is the symbol that represents that they have dug in. They are fortifying their defenses, of course, since they are the ones defending Richmond. I'm curious to see, historically, I may try and launch a Peninsular Campaign, just like McClellan originally did down here at Fort Monroe and stuff, and see how far they get. But I will cut back when any major events happen or if another battle occurs. If not, this is going to be a relatively short video. I just wanted to see what happens after that battle, what happened after the battle, in terms of retreating, any other campaign stuff. So I will cut and I'll get back to you on anything that happens. Oh, well, here we go. I always seem to get that. I'll be in the middle of saying I'm going to cut, and then a newspaper will come up. U.S. warns Europe to remain neutral. Union blockade proclaimed illegal. New chapter in the trade warfare. So that means our policy has been completed. So now this is an act proclaiming that the Union blockade of the South is legal, and that any attempts to breach the blockade will be considered hostile acts subject to retaliation. This will discourage European trade fleets from helping the Confederate blockade runners. It will also infuriate the European leaders as it threatens their neutral status. Well, sorry, you weren't really giving me any relations anyway, so not my problem. Alright, I will come back if anything else happens. Alright, so cutting back in, just wanted to give a quick update. I have been playing, I gave all of the Department of the Ohio upgraded muskets. I'm re-recruiting a new brigade from Ohio. Most of these guys, I just gotta wait for their disabled to catch up to their ranks, and that will be fine. With the larger army, they have completed recruitment, and they are going to sit and train until further called. But so far, nothing has happened. I will keep going until new events arise. New update, we have an invasion in the west. We have the army of the Trans-Mississippi just entered into the lower half of Missouri. So that means I'm going to have to cut my troops over to here, and I may have to recruit more men because right now they have over 19,000. No guns though, which is interesting. So actually I may be fine. I will move them over and try and protect Missouri at all costs. A convention held in London, Mexico under threat of an invasion. British, Spanish, French to send troops. Napoleon III to conquer Mexico? A military venture for free trade. So right now, it's a stall in the war, both sides, except for the West. The West is trying to do stuff. Standards Corps coming up deeper into Missouri. Department of the West is trying to get to a location, trying to halt them. Maybe another battle of, what was this called? Fredericton again. They're low on, they have no provision somehow, so hopefully we can get to a town and resupply. I am also going to have to replace Major General Robert Patterson because he has been defamed. I'm not sure how. His fame is at 3 stars and it's going up. But having failed the nation or been demoted from command, leaving this officer in command will do more harm than good for the morale of the people. His men will question his abilities, and he is considered a laughingstock in the enemy camps. So I don't remember him being a laughingstock or being defamed. Excuse me. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to replace him and find someone new who is capable of leading. Maybe Sylvester Churchill, but again, he's so old. I don't want an old man leading it. I could put Grant in. So let me assign a new commander. I want to save Grant for later operations. You know, try and keep it somewhat historical. But, I mean, I like Rousseau here. He's a politician, though. I will give him a chance. Let's assign him. Nobody but Patterson was defamed. I don't know why. But, alright, let me transfer them to the Army of Pennsylvania. Okay, there we go. Now, this is 2nd Corps of the Army of Pennsylvania. Yep, I believe we're going to have the Trent Affair. Confederate diplomats captured. I know this is a historical event. Shots fired at a British ship. British furious over the incident. Great Britain plans an invasion. But luckily, it's resolved and everyone stands down. But, I mean, 55, I think, what is it? If they hit 70 or something like that? If it becomes high enough, they might intervene. They're not going to intervene yet. But the Army of Mississippi, Trans-Mississippi, is coming up. Not sure where they're going, but we are going to strike at Fredericton again. Okay, here we go. Standards Corps of Army of the Trans-Mississippi is in contact with the Department of the West. William S. Harney versus Philip B. Stannard. He's 31. His fame is renowned. He is passive, which sucks for me. But Harney is legendary. He is venturous. His leadership is somewhat backward, though. So this will be for next episode. 23,000 versus 19,000. They have no guns, no cavalry. So this will be more of a bonus for me. So I will see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Bayonet Jack, signing off.